October. A time for all things creepy, crawly, and adorable? Bug Fables is an amazing RPG that takes the mechanics of Paper Mario and refines them into the most perfect game I've ever played. We'll trek across deserts, delve into caves, and explore an incredibly unnerving abandoned house. See? Perfect for Halloween. Just ignore that this was filmed in May of last year, that's not important. What is important is that we are going to be completing the entire game at Explorer Rank 1. So no rank up stat bonuses, no new skills, no extra inventory space. As if that's not masochistic enough, we're also going to be playing the game on hard mode, which means... Oh, that's us losing almost half our health to the weakest enemy in the game. This is going to get interesting. So, if you enjoy seeing me put myself through grueling challenges for no real reason, remember to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you want to see more. It really helps me out a lot. Our first mission is to delve into Snakemouth Den to find an ancient artifact and prove ourselves worthy to be true explorers. Cabo yeets some rocks about and flips over defensive foes, and we discover the hidden artifact at the heart of this ruin. Mushroom? That doesn't seem very... Of course it wasn't going to be that easy. We find a moth suffering from a bit of a skill issue, and we go to cut him down before the skill issue issuer drops in. But that shouldn't be a problem for intrepid explorers like us. All we have to do is... run away! But not before cutting down our new moth friend, Leaf, who can somehow speak an ancient unknown language. Don't worry about that. Oh, and he has ice magic. That's cool. And, convenient, as ice is required to solve the next 3 rooms worth of puzzles, while we avoid as many zombie ants and jelly shrooms as we can. After all, we won't be gaining any experience from them. Along the way, we pick up the Poison Defender medal, which gives us a small defense boost when we're poisoned. It's fairly worthless as a medal, but we have nothing else at the moment, so we may as well equip it in one of our 4 medal slots. That's our first medal, so might as well equip it, right? I mean, it's a hot trash medal. But it sure is a medal. We also find the Poison Resistance medal and equip it, but really, when are we ever going to have to deal with poison? Anyway, we found the ancient artifact, although it seems to be imbued with some sort of incomprehensible magic and is making Leaf speak in tongues. We're going to have to be careful and handle it really gently. Damn it, V! As if the cascading rivers of water and collapsing chamber weren't perilous enough, now the spider is back. We managed to land some solid hits with V's tornado toss, but the real challenge begins when the spider drops below half health and calls in reinforcements. We have very limited healing right now since there's no shop yet, and we didn't rank up and thus didn't get V's secret stash skill. That's okay though, I just have to make sure I block all the attacks that come at me. So that's not ideal. Thankfully, the spider is already on really low health. It just needs a few more attacks to take down. Even more thankfully, that Poison Defender medal we equipped earlier comes in surprisingly handy, letting V tank an entire round of attacks on the enemies, only suffering 1 damage that turn. From there, we're able to quickly turn things around and take out the spider and the other 2 enemies without issue. I said without issue! And just in time too, as the rushing water sweeps us out of the cavern. This ends chapter 1, but chapter 2 doesn't start immediately or anything, so, like... For clearing Snakemouth Den, we get branded an official exploration team and technically gain the ability to rank up since we're playing in medal mode, but we will obviously not be doing that. I also grabbed the quick flea medal I earned for beating the spider on hard mode, and then we're finally brought before Her Highness Queen Elizanthe II, where we hand over the ancient, mysterious, priceless mask in exchange for 30 berries? I would have thought risking life and wing would be a little more profitable, but I guess these bugs haven't quite nailed the concept of unions yet. Having not learned our lesson about fair wages, the Queen sends us off on a new expedition to the Golden Hills, and Chapter 2 begins. Before we head to the Golden Settlement, I buy an HP Plus from Merab's Metal Shop and equip it onto V. HP Plus being the only way to increase our HP for a very long time in this run. While it doesn't feel great to use my very few precious metal slots on it, it'll come in handy for getting through the Golden Hills in one piece. I also make sure to purchase and cook an entire inventory's worth of items, since we can make our healing much more potent this way. Our honey drops nearly double in efficiency as they become glazed honeys, and by mixing together some crunchy leaves and aphid eggs, we can make leaf omelets. These omelets restore 9 HP, which we're not likely to outgrow for a long time, if ever. With no secret stash, items will be our only source of healing for basically the entirety of this game. After filling our inventory, we head over to actually partake in Chapter 2, which means fighting these wasps threatening Professor Neolith, the Ant Kingdom's foremost archaeologist. Wasps get a bad rap in every canon, including reality. Don't mind that these wasps have 10 HP and 2 defense when characters in the back can only deal 2 damage. There's nothing wrong with that. Also don't mind that they still do 3 HP of damage even with a perfect block. I'm sure that lacking any better skills for damage will never be an issue of any kind and the battles will never be slogs. It's a good thing we have those leaf omelets. After that quick and peaceful and easy battle, we rescue Professor Neolith and continue onwards to the Golden Path. I'm still trying to fight most enemies for some reason, and that means I can show off a few things. For example, here's what running away from battle looks like. And if a party member is dead at the end of battle, they come back with 1 HP remaining. After a quick jaunt through the Golden Path, we reach the Golden Settlement, but we won't be allowed to enter the Golden Hills until the Golden Festival finishes. These bugs sure are good at naming things, huh? Acolyte Aria requires us to bring her 2 offerings to end the festival. And how do we earn these offerings? Well, with mini-games, of course. First up, V plays Whack-A-Worm and... Whack-A-Worm? Not Whack-A-Worm? Whack-A-Worm? Sure. V plays Whack-A-Worm and smacks 23 worms upside the head, far above the requisite 15, earning us the Sun offering and also causing V's Beamerang to be upgraded in the form of Hurricane Toss, a version of Tornado Toss that costs more TP, but also pierces defense, flips enemies over, and unearths enemies from the ground. We like Hurricane Toss. Next, we need to mash A to get Leaf to eat a bunch of leaves and get the Moon offering. And that's it. That's the Golden Festival. Punch worms and eat leaves. People travel the world for this. During this whole ordeal, Kabu learned how to do a pep talk, a 5 TP revival skill that I don't have to rank up to learn, which is neat. It's obviously not something I want to have to rely on, but hey, at least it's an option that I have! We may have collected the 2 offerings, but before we're actually able to go to the Golden Hills, we need to beat up Acolyte Aria. Moving the goalposts, I see. We have to bring Kabu, and can pick between V and Leaf as the other of 2 party members. I choose V because I actually want to win. See, Acolyte Aria starts on top of a vine, which means Kabu and Leaf can't hit her without using TP. This is cruel. V can hit her for free, and Kabu spies to reveal that Acolyte Aria has 1 more HP than the spider, and I'll just spoil that she's also stronger. So that's fun. Even her basic kick attack, which I super blocked, still dealt 3 damage to V. Yikes. She can also summon a Venus Bud, which can spit a large pollen ball into the air as a delayed attack, or fires 3 fast pollen balls at one character. If unblocked, these will inflict sleep, but I'm Krilt different. After a few turns of attacking, Aria's taken out, and looks like I might actually be Krilt normal as V falls to the triple pollen attack, leaving only a weak Kabu against a flying enemy. Thankfully, the Venus Bud only has 1 HP remaining, so I can chuck a numbnail dart I got somewhere at it, and finish the fight first try. Acolyte Aria moves the statue, blocking our way to the Golden Hills, and on we go to solve some more puzzles. We get a free magic seed and some grass, and pick up the back support medal, which gives an additional point of defense to whichever character is in the back. I love this thing, and immediately equip it over Poison Defender. I solve all the puzzles in the intended way, I swear, and get jumped by Zasp and Mathiva, fellow exploration team members that want to take the artifact for themselves. We can see from spying them that Zasp has 25 HP and 1 defense, and Mathiva has 20 HP and 0 defense. Leaf has 7 HP and 0 defense. Our guys suck. Zasp can taunt to force us to attack him, throw 2 needles at a party member for 3 damage each unblocked, and do a weird kick-punch combo that honestly just does way too much damage, especially since Zasp gains extra power when you attack Mathiva. And speaking of Mathiva, her multi-notes attack deals 2 damage 3 times, so 6 HP, which is super fun, and her big note attack deals 3 HP to the entire party. Need I remind you that Leaf has a grand total of 7? She'll also revive Zasp if he falls before her. I was woefully underprepared and ended up losing Kabu and Leaf on turn 2, with V falling shortly after. Wait, and their tale was never finished? I know Zasp and Mathiva dislike us, but damn, I didn't know they were murderers. Not wanting to die again, I take off hard mode. Don't worry, it'll come back later. I don't know what was really going through my head. I was going through a blunt phase. Without hard mode, this fight becomes much more trivial. Zasp losing his point of defense opens so many more options for attacks, and the 2 of them do less damage too. Before long, we win, and Zasp and Mathiva vanish in a puff of smoke, probably wondering why they got so much weaker out of nowhere. We ride the elevator up to a cool pink place, which I guess is kinda weird that the peak of the Golden Hills at the top of the Golden Settlement and the Golden Lands would be pink, but whatever. We can blame it on whatever magic is causing Leaf to speak in tongues again, though hey, at least that means we're definitely getting close. We use the Sun and Moon offerings to advance forward to the boss of Chapter 2, the Venus Guardian. And I didn't re-equip hard mode. Oops. Just look at the sheer damage on that sweep attack. Hey, at least the slam can actually hurt me, right? Sometimes the Venus Guardian will take flight and launch either a spicy bomb at the entire party or fire multiple hard seeds at one party member, which as you can see does mighty damage when not on hard mode. This boss, and most bosses going forwards, won't be knocked out of the sky with just one hit. But that's where Tornado Toss comes in. Each hit is a separate hit, and so knocks the Venus Guardian straight down in one go. We like V. Eventually, it summons a Venus Bud, which not only heals the Guardian fairly regularly for 7 HP, but can also buff its defense or attack. At this point, I just have Leaf use Ice Fall every turn, stun locking the Bud and allowing V and Kabu to do good damage to the Guardian, who eventually falls. Gee, I wonder why that wasn't hard at all. Still, we get the Ancient Tablet, and that's the end of Chapter 2. We make our way back to Queen Elizant through these nifty ant tunnels and return yet another ancient magical artifact, this one being held by a literal goddess for 30 more berries. God bless the monarchy. That paltry payment won't stop us from obeying the Queen's orders to claim the ancient key from the Bee Kingdom hive, though. Before that, I pick up some quests, buy a TP Plus medal from Medab, which I equip for poison resistance since it's one of the only ways I can ever increase TP, and buy the Bug Ranger plushie. This is extremely important. Kabu wants it, and I love that guy, so it's gotta be done. Also, in Bugaria Outskirts, I use V's Beamerang to grab this HP Plus medal and equip it onto Leaf, so now my entire party has 9 HP. Yay. On the way to the desert, Kabu remembers that he can run, and unlocks not only dashing on the overworld, but the dash through skill in battle, a 5 TP skill that hits all grounded enemies with Kabu's regular attack plus an additional point of damage. It's incredibly sexy. We grab another HP Plus medal that I will never need, and go straight from getting the Tardigrade Shield medal for Hawk to a Tardigrade Shield medal for Hawk to a battle against a burglar, a thief, and a Wasp Scout attempting highway robbery against a merchant caravan. Burglars and thieves are regular enemies around here, though burglars are quite strong, but we want to make sure that the Wasp Scout isn't the last enemy left, otherwise he'll call for help. Thanks to Leaf's Icefall freezing the burglar and the Wasp Scout right away, the fight isn't anywhere near as bad as it could have been. I mean, Leaf does die and need to be revived, and we win with basically no HP or TP or items left, but like my father always said, life could be a lot worse. We enter Defiant Route, grab some quests, and attempt to grind out a danger spot in order to do I Wanna Get Better. However, I instead encounter a 1% golden seedling in an underling battle. I don't want to waste this opportunity, so I have Kabu taunt the golden seedling to make sure it doesn't run away while dealing damage with the V and Leaf. Walk it off, Kabu. After using a magic seed on Kabu, I repeat this turn and then attack one more time while Kabu is down to finish off the golden seedling, claiming my massive EXP bounty. Okay, the real reason I did that is for the tangy berry the golden seedlings drop. This allows me to do my specialty. The quest, that is, not naming all the fruits in Pikmin, with Cup making me a tangy Carpaccio and unlocking the ability to make more whenever I have another tangy berry. Which will probably be never, but hey, it restores 12 HP to the entire party. Can't complain about that. With that aside over, it's back to the hive. An overzealous scientist wishes to cut Leaf open and study him, and he, obviously doesn't want that, so his survival instincts cause him to learn Bubble Shield Light, a 3 TP skill that makes a single party member immune to all damage for 1 turn. It's situationally very useful, especially in conjunction with Kabu's taunt. Before we enter the hive factory, V stops and says we should probably make sure we're well stocked before entering. It'll probably be fine, what's the worst that could happen? The factory almost immediately locks down and becomes a deeply hostile environment. Leaf masters that bubble shield thing he first discovered about roughly 10 minutes ago, and can now extend it fully to all 3 members of Team Snakemouth at once. This enables access to the bubble shield skill in battle, which costs 7 TP and makes the entire party immune to all damage for a turn, but prevents Leaf from acting on the next turn. More importantly, it also allows us to use bubble shield on the overworld, which makes you immune to all enemies on the overworld and stuns you if you walk into them. As a result, I will be skipping almost every random encounter from this point onwards. See, I'm already running away from most battles anyway, since running away costs 3 berries, while healing the team to full uses 8 berries, or items, which cost way more, so battles really serve to do nothing except deplete my resources. Oh god, I've turned my favourite game into Paper Mario Sticker Star. Well, not fully. At least the bosses are fun. Gosh, that was such a good segue into the Honey Nation battle. Its spit attack does minimal damage, but if you block it, then the spit turns into an Honey that also enters the battle, so that's fun. Its smash attack deals 6 damage to one party member, and it's also capable of charging up before attacking the entire party for 7 unblocked damage. Remember, I have HP plus medals equipped. V and Leaf's technical max HP is 7. Despite how that sounds though, this wasn't too dangerous, as the Ahani Nation only had 40 HP and 0 defense. I just went full offensive with V, rallying her with Leaf or Kabu to get multiple tornado tosses each turn, and using the smash attack as an opportunity to use a honeyed Leaf, recovering some HP and TP to just keep using tornado toss until the Ahani Nation explodes. Don't worry about Kabu. I replaced my honeyed Leaf at the gift shop and, you know, it's weird that this supposed gift shop only sells food. Like, not even a I went to the Bee Kingdom Hive and all I got was this lousy t-shirt mug. Just some leaves and ice cream and stuff? Like, okay, I guess. Anyway, now that everything's fixed and better in the factory, let's do what we came here to do and swap out the ancient key for a replacement. Except that activates the Hive's defense mechanism, alarms blare, everything flashes red, and it's time for a chapter boss that's as hard as its theme. The Heavy Drone B33 has 65 HP and 1 defense and needs multiple hits to knock down from the sky. So, you know, a hurricane toss is king here. I find the timing on its beam attack awkward at first because you're not actually trying to block the beam, but the delayed explosion it leaves behind. Because of messing this up twice, I end up needing to use my Tangy Carpaccio, which is a shame because getting that thing was very lucky. The Heavy Drone B33 also has a constant delayed missile in this fight. It doesn't use its turn to launch it, and every 3 turns the old one lands on one of Team Snakemouth, and a new one is immediately fired. After falling down to 2/3 HP, the Heavy Drone B33 goes into Berserk mode, raising its attack by 1 but lowering its defense to 0 permanently. One nasty missile barrage on the party later, I try using a Burly Berry on V to increase her defense so she can keep focusing on getting 2 attacks in each turn, but it doesn't end up actually doing anything. The Heavy Drone B33 charges up, and this is Leaf's cue to use Bubble Shield right away, as the incoming ram deals 7 damage to the entire party without it. I get lucky and this coincides with the delayed missile dropping, so yay for small wins. The trouble is I'm kinda out of TP and items. I don't have anything left to recover my 2 TP, which isn't enough for V to use any more tornado tosses. So I try a desperate strategy and use my last TP to have Kabu taunt the Heavy Drone B33 to force it to hit him while V attacks, which gets him a face full of missiles, but it means it was unable to charge that turn. I think. It also means I'm able to take the win shortly after, with nothing but a hard seed left in my inventory. That was rough. We collect the ancient key, and chapter 3 is officially over. Except when we go to hand it in to Queen Elizant, Professor Neolith reveals that this is only half of the ancient key, and the other half is probably in the desert, giving us our next destination. On the way to my actual objective, I pick up a danger spud from an underling, finally. This allows me to, along with some easily purchased items, complete I Wanna Get Better after an easy Abomahoney fight. For our troubles, we're rewarded with an abomination. I can't wait to try this out against... Oh. Got anything else? Now that's what I'm talking about. We can now cook these crispy donuts whenever we want. These restore 12 TP, and as such will basically be a full TP recovery for the entire game. These are good. But that's not all. A crispy donut requires 1 honey drop costing 4 berries, and 1 bag of flour costing 4 berries, but each one sells for 13 berries. We will never have financial problems again, and we didn't even have to commit check fraud. We then head back to the Golden Path to cross over some brambles using Bubble Shield to allow me to enter the Chomper Caves. I do my best to avoid every enemy in this place, and when one accidentally hits me, I hope the spy stats show why. Before the boss fight, oh my god, I'm not even blonde anymore, what was I doing? I give Past Lottie a fat thumbs down for that, she didn't even try! How am I supposed to salvage her cowardice to make an interesting script? Mother Chomper has 50 HP and 0 defense. She's easy enough to handle at first, her hard seed and pollen attacks can be blocked until she reaches half HP. Now she's attacking twice per round and suddenly we've actually got some dangerous attacks coming our way. That bite does genuine damage and even heals her for the amount dealt. Not to mention her little Chomper daughters dancing to raise her stats. Okay, wait, maybe there is something to talk about here after all. I change up my strategy to be super aggressive and just relay V to outpace her healing with maximum damage output. I use up literally all of my items, like in every fight ever, and use my last TP on a Bubble Shield Light to keep V alive for just one more turn, which also blocked the healing from Mother Chomper's bite attack and gave me the win. Okay, actually, yeah, I think that would have sucked on hard mode. Good call, Past Lottie. Don't do it again. Anyway, why'd we do that? Well, to get the Chomper Seed, which we can grow into a baby Chomper. Chat decides to name her Nibbles, and we bring her with us, buying her a pretty ribbon to increase her damage by 1. She now does 3 damage per bite, and this is a huge buff for a party stuck at rank 1, especially since her turn is just a completely free action. we like nibbles. Now wasn't there oh yeah, a plot! We pay 30 berries to a shady guy down a well, and he gives us a rusty key to let us into the bandit hideout. We enter, find the earth key, and shock horror, it was a trap! Since we're now stuck in prison, Kabu remembers he can dig under soft ground, which lets us dig on the overworld and also gives him the understrike skill in battle, which isn't good, really, but it does hit twice and also let him hit stuff that's in the air. The real question is, why does Kabu already know how to do all of this stuff? He hasn't really learned any of these skills, he's just been holding out on me. What the hell, man? I thought we were cool. We now need to pass through a stealth section, which is always way more forgiving than I remember it being. We just need to burrow our way past a few thugs and get back all of our items, including V's beamerang. Which, like, okay, I see why that stopped V from battling, but Leaf and Kabu, what are your excuses? Kabu, you're on thin ice, my guy. We grab and use a bond berry in the kitchen, a consumable which permanently increases TP by 1. Consumables like this are our only method of getting stronger in a rank 1 challenge. There isn't anything like Super Boots or the Ultra Hammer from the Paper Mario games. On our attempted escape, we bump into Astothiles, the leader of the bandits and also the guy who sold us the rusty key. We're going to need to take him out to get what we came here for, which is the earth key, since I don't actually think I properly mentioned that. So, Astothiles has 50 HP and 0 defense, which seems manageable, but you cannot use items in this battle under any circumstance. Even if he's asleep or frozen, he'll just break free from his status to slap the item out of your hand before you can use it. Normally you'd use V's secret stash for healing, but you get that at rank 2, so we don't have it. This is just gonna have to be a cage fight. Sometimes Astothiles puts his guard up randomly after being hit, which gives him 2 defense, but Kabu can hit through and knock him out of that. Due to the embargo, I play with hyper offense again, relaying V's tornado tosses to get as much damage off as possible. Eventually, V and Kabu fall in the same turn, but it's too little too late and Nibbles comes through for me, getting the KO. I would have lost without her. That fight doesn't really give you a lot of options for how to win it, since you can't use items, but we got by. Astothiles now respects us or something and hands over the Earth Key. So we'll head towards the direction I know from a previous playthrough. By complete luck and coincidence, we make our way towards the pedestal where the key goes. After first putting in the Bug Ranger plushie to upset Kabu, has to be done, we put in the actual key, which causes the sandcastle to rise out from beneath the sands and become an accessible dungeon. I really like the puzzles in here, I can't lie. They're not super hard, but they just look really visually appealing with the ice magic turning on and off. I also fight every enemy in this dungeon with Nibble's help and make a decent stash of berries as a result. Crispy may technically give me infinite berries, but cooking and selling donuts over and over is deeply mind-numbing, while this way I actually get to play my favourite game. Marsh helps a little bit. The final part of the sandcastle is a room full of coffins. One of the coffins opens from the inside, groundbreaking and unexpected stuff, I know. Inside is the Watcher, the boss of this surprisingly long chapter. 69 HP, 0 defense. I'm sure the editor will find that hilarious. Like basically everything to do with this dungeon, the Watcher has 2 forms, a sand form and an ice form. It has a spark attack, which hits 3 times on random allies for 3 damage each. So, you know, just casually doing the full amount of health that anyone in my party has if I fail to block. It also has an HP draining attack, where you need to mash to escape, but it only deals 1 damage at a time, and I can do it quickly enough that I only get hit once, so that attack is free. Sometimes the Watcher stays underground after doing this, but that's nothing V's Hurricane Toss can't fix. Somehow. Every 2 turns, the Watcher switches form, and its ice form is much nastier. It can use the same Icefall attack as Leaf, and if you don't block this, and the full party gets frozen, that's it. You're done. You cannot recover from that. And even when you do block it, it still deals a ridiculous amount of damage to the full party. It can also use Frigid Coffin, a single target attack that deals less damage than Icefall. I don't really get it. It would be way better if Leaf had it, I swear. After falling below half HP, the Watcher starts to attack twice per turn, and also starts to give itself a random buff every round. In addition, it begins to erect barriers depending on what form it's in. But V can hit around those, so I mostly don't care. Eventually, I end up in a situation where the Watcher has no barrier, only 1 HP, and I have all 3 party members standing. It decides to just use Frigid Coffin twice, so even if I hadn't blocked, it would have been fine, and we can finish off the fight with a disrespectful Icefall. The Watcher drops a magic kidney stone, and in the next room, we grab the other ancient half and officially bring Chapter 4 to a close. Whew, this was a long one. On our way out of the sandcastle, Zasp calls for help and says the Ant Kingdom is under attack from the Wasps, so we're quickly whisked back. In the Ant Kingdom itself, I just avoid every Wasp battle, because those guys suck to fight, and before long we make it to the throne room, where the Wasp King has just defeated Queen Elizant's guard. V steps in just in time, and the battle against the Wasp King begins. Except he just destroys us with a giant pillar of fire magic that deals 99 damage to each party member. Damn. Maybe we should have leveled up more. With Team Snakemouth defeated, the Wasp King takes the Ancient Half and scarpers due to Mackie's arrival, so at least the other artifacts are safe. Our next mission is clear. Go to the Wasp Kingdom with Mackie in tow, and get back the Ancient Half. Alright, since we're at the entrance of the Far Grasslands, let's talk about Mackie. We like Mackie. He attacks after nibbles, dealing a flat 6 damage to the enemy in front, even hitting aerial enemies. Mackie is very clearly temporary, but I end up fighting a fair few enemies in this area because, again, I want to have fun. And, there goes the Far Grasslands. Yep, that area is just super short. We can see the Wasp Kingdom across the water, but we'll first need to traverse the wild swamplands, a nasty place that Kabu doesn't seem to want to talk about. That's okay, I'm getting used to Kabu withholding information from me. I like the ambience here. The enemies are tough, but not too bad with Mackie around. These lily pads are fun, and oh hey, a forced mini-boss fight against some members of the Leafbug tribe, great cool. I've been fighting every encounter, and I'm out of HP and TP. I've been abusing the fact that dead party members revive with a 1 HP, and also obviously Mackie has been hard carrying. Not that my HP really matters much, as anytime a Leafbug takes damage, the others in the fight all gain a point of charge for free. I mean, just look at this, that was 6 damage on a block to the entire party. And here's 8 damage on a block to V! Again, thank God for Mackie, he absolutely saved my ass in that fight, and the Leafbugs run off after being beaten. We traverse onwards, crossing a bridge, and that could be a problem. The probably angry Leafbugs destroy the bridge, which somehow causes everyone to go flying rather than, falling. We'll roll with it. Team Snakemouth are okay, but Mackie is separated from us and has injured himself, unable to move. Oh no. Trapped and filled with some secretive emotion, Kabu musters up the strength to break big rocks. Which, he didn't gain any battle skills or anything from this, but honestly, I'm just proud this is something he wasn't keeping from us. For once. Through the rest of the wild swamplands, Leafbugs appear as regular enemies. So you better believe I avoid them like the plague, ducking and weaving until... lower ourselves from what, Kabu? Oh, probably the giant ominous shadow passing by that Kabu seems to recognise. I wouldn't worry about that. Almost immediately after that, I get first struck by a random Medesfi, whose shriek attack I fail to block, resulting in the entire party being numbed and unable to move as they quickly perish. I didn't even get a turn. That was just a random enemy. One failed block is all it takes. This time, dodging the Medesfi, we eventually make it to where Mackie was, though he'll need to stay behind due to his injury while we clear the path ahead. That's fine. What's the worst that could... not these guys again. Oh wait, this is much worse. Kabu, can we run? No? It ain't your friends? Oh, well, alright then. Let's fight the beast. 82 HP and 1 defense. Dang, this seems like a huge difficulty spike over the Watcher, huh? Except, honestly, it's really not. The beast lacks any real group attacks, its attacks are easy to block, and they oddly don't really do much damage at all. Plus, it takes until the beast is below 28 HP for it to give itself 2 actions per turn. I don't know, the Watcher was just much nastier than this guy. Which is funny, because that was just some dead dude in a box, while this is a monstrosity that has terrorized numerous people. Anyway, Kabu drops the beast to 10 HP and it... Hey, that's cheating! That's way more damage than you were doing before. V and Leaf are KO'd instantly, Nibbles absolutely pieces out, and Kabu panics before also being hit with a 99 damage attack, yet surviving due to his resolve. He will not fall here. Kabu is fully healed and gains a permanent attack boost, beginning a vicious back and forth of attacking and blocking since I don't have any TP or items left. Shortly though, Kabu narrowly ekes out the victory with 2 HP remaining. If I didn't get a perfect block on the first turn, I would have lost here, because Kabu can only do the not dying thing once. I'll be honest, I did not expect to first try this one. The beast is more of a pushover than I realised. Having avenged his old friends, Kabu wonders if he could have saved them back then had he been as strong as he is now. Since he hasn't gotten any stronger since the start of this journey, yeah, probably. That was actually the boss of this chapter, but we aren't finished yet, as we exit the wild swamplands and see the entrance to the Wasp Kingdom emerge before us. Yeah, they built their kingdom right next to the inhospitable swamp full of poison and monsters. What of it? They're wasps. What do you want from them? Thankfully, there's a back entrance, so we can just sneak on into stew shop. It's run by a really nice wasp named Jade, who seems to think we're superheroes. She sells a phenomenal item named Jade's Stew, which restores 7 HP and 7 TP at once, damn near a full HP heal with a hefty bonus TP recovery, and genuinely one of the best items I could ask for having renewable access to. I forget about this shop nearly instantly and we never come back from our stew. The Forgotten Stew shop is suspiciously close to the throne room, and approaching the throne causes us to be set upon by General Ultimax and some wasp soldiers. great, cool. No, yeah, definitely did not forget to heal before this fight. It may have the same difficulty as a regular encounter, but that still makes it somewhat of a boss fight in this run. Genuinely, this joke fight is actually kind of tough for what I'm working with here. We're really getting to the endgame now. General Ultimax himself doesn't do anything but buff his lackeys while they're still alive, and once they're down he panics and slaps one party member for very little damage. Getting through his 20 HP and 0 defense doesn't take long, and now there's nothing stopping us from confronting the Wasp King behind his throne. Except, he's not here. Wasp Queen Vanessa is here and being held as a hostage, but then why? Oh, this was all a distraction. We should get back to the Ant Kingdom quickly. As soon as Team Snakemouth enters the Queen's throne room, the Wasp King sets them ablaze, steals every artifact from Queen Elizant, and then escapes through a stained glass window. Honestly, those things are expensive, that's kinda messed up. Professor Neolith presumes that the Wasp King is probably headed to Giant's Lair, where the Everlasting Sapling is rumoured to be, and Queen Vanessa suggests we ask the estranged Termite Kingdom for a boat in order to get to Rubber Prison, the only place that connects to Giant's Lair. Our next mission is to escort Queen Elizant through the Forsaken Lands to get to the Termite Kingdom. Before getting to that though, we buy a Heartberry, a Bomberry, and a Super Pepper from the berry salesman in Defiant Route, give a Lost Moth Eva doll to Zasp for another Heartberry, travel back to the bandit's hideout to find a discarded horn, go all the way back to the Golden Settlement, give Tangerine the Fruity Bug his horn back, which opens the path to play Whack-A-Worm. Wait, Whack-A-Worm? Not Whack-A-Worm? Aha. And bop over 25 worms on the nose and earn a third Heartberry. We eat the Bond Berry, give one Heartberry to each member of Team Snakemouth, and use the Super Pepper on V to permanently increase her attack by 1. This is the only one of these we get in the main story, so it's a pretty precious item. We also stop by Shade's place in the Underground Tavern to spend some Crystal Berries on a front support medal and a Powder Exchange medal. By unequipping back support and Leaf's HP+, sorry ma'am, and equipping both of these, we can effectively give V another point of attack without the usual defensive cost of Powder Exchange. Alright, sorry about the delay, Your Majesty, let's get moving. While Queen Elizant is with us, we can use the Royal Decree skill, which costs 5 TP and buffs everyone's attack and defense for 2 turns. Unlike Maki, that's all she does, but it's still pretty great and will serve us well in the Forsaken Lands. It's easy to get lost in this abandoned hellscape, and the enemies are pretty nasty. I mean, just check out the 3 defense on this Plumpling. Without those damage buffs, V wouldn't even be able to scratch these guys. Shortly after, we come across a destroyed bridge, and with no other way across, Queen Elizant demands that V get off her ass and fly us all across the gap. This grants us the final overworld skill of the game, the ability to fly short distances. V carries Kabu perfectly, but Leaf seems to have some issues with his floating icicle and drops Elizant into the abyss. Twice. We get the chance to properly test out flying in this genuinely fun room full of exhaust pipes, and come across a healing crystal for the first time in ages. Except, with V's increased strength and Queen Elizant's violent bloodlust, I think we may actually be the boss fight for the Primal Weevil. 72 HP and 1 defense? I'm afraid that won't be enough, my friend. After a Royal Decree, V's Hurricane Toss is capable of doing 14 damage. Sure, in a normal run she could do way more, but for us being rank 1, that's pretty great. Even with Relay Fatigue, she can still deal a further 10. The Primal Weevil's only chance at doing anything meaningful is to call for help, except all it can summon are Weevils. Regular enemies from Chapter 2. So anyway, yeah, V utterly massacres everything in sight. Impressed and slightly afraid, some termites show up wanting to take the Primal Weevil for something, and in exchange agree to let Queen Elizant enter the Termite Kingdom, where she is escorted directly to the Termite Castle. But because Team Snakemouth has the collective attention span of a goldfish, we immediately turn around and head to the Beehive to beat up some malfunctioning robots, earning us another Power Exchange medal. Now, wasn't there... Oh, shoot! Elizant is alone in hostile territory! Rushing back to the Termite Castle, we walk in on the Termite King and Queen flipping out at Queen Elizant, daring to show her face, and they demand we prove ourselves in the Colosseum before they'll help us to save Bulgaria, because... Alright, Colosseum arc, let's go. Round 1 is against some regular enemies in the Forsaken Lands. In fact, I'm pretty sure the editor showed off this exact pairing when I was talking about Plumplings earlier, so this is nothing. Round 2 is against those termites from earlier who took the Primal Weevil, Cross and Poi. 21 HP and 1 defense? 27 HP and 0 defense? Lads, come on, this is Chapter 6. I mean, the fight isn't as trivial as it could have been since we aren't healed between rounds, but it's still basically just a speed bump to round 3. Our final round sees us up against the Primal Weevil. I guess the Termite King doesn't know where Wyatt's captured. Back into the Weevil Centrifuge it goes. Oh, wait, no, it's Aspen Mathiva. Let's beat them on hard mode and make up for whatever I was doing in Chapter 2. They remain spied despite having had a hefty increase in HP, so I can just have V open with 3 tornado tosses in a row against Zasp, lowering him to nearly half HP. But let's talk about what they can do. Zasp has this annoying kick combo teleport thing that deals 4 damage 3 times to random party members, and Mathiva still has her multi-notes from last time, which deal 3 damage 3 times to random party members. Or sometimes just to V, I guess. That's 21 damage being flung around each turn when Team Snakeman's total is 28. Just because V is stronger doesn't mean we're not still rank 1. Still, we can throw around some damage of our own, and after Zasp goes down, Mathiva likes to prioritise reviving him each turn with a mere 8 HP, effectively winning us the fight. I did, say it with me, have to use all of my items, including a rare Miracle Shake that I'm sad to see the back of. But a first try victory is a first try victory. The Termite Queen recognises our strength and entrusts us with the submarine. After safely dropping off Queen Elizant back at Bugaria Pier, there's nothing stopping us from going to Rubber Prison, the last place between us and the Giant's Lair. Unfortunately, the path through Rubber Prison won't be an easy one. Not only are there Wasp soldiers patrolling the area, but all the criminals have been let out. These ruffians get 2 attacks per turn, hit like a truck, and have the audacity to also come with a point of defense. These guys are dangerous enough that the Wasp King left their cuffs on just in case, and honestly, I agree with him. Avoid at all costs. I wait till I explore the dungeon with Umbra in tow, avoiding every fight. My favourite room's gotta be the bouncing mushrooms on turnstiles room. Every prison needs one of those. Though I can't lie, I do also have a soft spot for this wooden crank that, when turned, causes the entire bridge outside to collapse and knock down a door. Truly a masterpiece of architecture. On the other side of that now opened door, we catch up to the Wasp King breaking open the path to the Giant's Lair. V tries to stop him, but the Wasp King calls down General Ultimax, who's in a tank, to hold us off. So I guess it's time to battle the Ultimax tank. 80 HP, 1 defense. That's, weaker than the beast. But okay. The Ultimax tank can charge at the entire party for 5 damage each or launch 2 delayed missiles, like the Heavy Drone B-33 did all that time ago, only, like I said, there's 2. Pow pow! Turn 1, V Hurricane tosses twice, and then on turn 2, Leaf chucks at a spicy candy, and she Hurricane tosses a further 2 times, dropping the Ultimax tank below half and causing its cannon to explode and become unusable, forcing General Ultimax to just chuck bombs at us that deal exactly the same amount of damage as the charge attack, which I think he can also still do, so I don't really get it. So long as he's happy. A Crispy Donut restores just enough TP to use Bubble Shield and Hurricane Toss, but honestly there's not exactly much fight left, and though Kabu and Leaf end up falling, V is able to finish things off with 3 HP, with me hardly using any items for a change. Oh, wait, General Ultimax himself is still here. Though with 20 HP and 0 defense, that doesn't exactly last for long. General Ultimax still refuses to let us past, so Leaf freezes him, and then everyone arrives so that we can brave the Giant's Lair together. However, before we can enter, Queen Vanessa gives us the Flame Brooch, a mystical artifact that allows bugs to survive fire magic. Let's do this. No, immediate U-turn. After starting Chapter 7, the Betty Salesman and Defiant Route will sell an Iron Seed, boosting V's defense by 1 because like hell is anyone else having it. Due to this increase in defense, I feel comfortable removing her HP Plus medal and equipping a second Power Exchange on her. I want to move a point of HP from Kabu to V, so I head to Patton to convert all of the stat boosting items into potions and allow me to reapply them. He removes all of your equipped medals in the process, but that's okay, I remember what I had. TP Plus, 2 Power Exchanges on V, and front support. Surely I wouldn't forget anything at this stage. Okay, let's actually enter Giant's Lair this time. Creepy place, love the giant eye. I take it back, I do not love the giant eye, please don't drop that on- you did it. Meet the residents of Giant's Lair, the Deadlanders. Each fight here is basically a mini-boss, though for some reason they're not as hard as I was expecting. If you're seen by a Deadlander Omega, then you'll get a Deadlander Gamma dropped on your head, and Deadlanders Alpha and Beta are littered throughout. This cursed place is dead and inhospitable. Shortly after, Team Maki, Zaspa Mathiva, and Queen Elizant catch up with us, though apparently nobody else made it this far. And unfortunately, they aren't the only things that have caught up with us, and we end up surrounded by Deadlanders, prompting one final fight with Maki and Elizant on our side. Oh wow, V is ridiculous. After a royal decree, she just straight up deletes the Deadlander Beta. Add on to that Maki is still Maki, and the enemies just can barely even seem to hurt me after a royal decree. And this fight is shockingly easy for how hyped up this area was. That wasn't hard at all. Well, now that that's done, it's time to climb up higher and go through the fridge. It's full of ice puzzles and some of the constructs from the sandcastle, but mostly ice puzzles. I have no idea how you were actually meant to do this final puzzle, but eventually I make my own solution, and the fridge has been conquered, causing us to arrive at the Roach Village just a short way away from the Everlasting Sapling. I love their little scorpions. After passing through, we see everything in the next room is on fire, including some roach constructs. As only Team Snakemouth can safely pass forward, everyone else remains behind to protect the Roach Village. It's up to us now. Well, it has been all game, but now it's official. There is nothing more to gain from fighting, so we avoid every battle on our way to turn off the hob, which must be insanely powerful to be launching pillars of fire into the sky. I don't think my hob does that. But that's it. We've caught up to the Wasp King as he removes a magical barrier, and for some reason, so has everyone else. Well, no worries, the Wasp King sees to that. It's just us and him now. 90 HP, 0 defense. That looks manageable. He can swing around his axe for 5 damage, or toss it for 6, but mostly what he's good at is getting shredded by V. After only 2 turns, he's below half HP and so starts acting twice per turn, but yeah, he barely survives turn 3 and falls easily on turn 4. That's it. That's what all of this hype was about. That was the unstoppable tyrant. After losing all of his soldiers one by one throughout the Deadlands, and with his fire magic no longer making him unstoppable, he turned out to just be a normal guy. Even the Everlasting Sapling has wilted with time. His plan was for naught, but still he tries, devouring the dried up fruit that remains on the broken husk once known as Everlasting. Wait, what's... Oh no, a second phase to a final boss fight? That's unheard of! Well, nothing to do but stop the Everlasting King once and for all. Only 55 HP? That's suspicious, given that we were fully healed, though the point of defense is annoying. On turn 2, thanks to a spicy candy, V can strike twice with Hurricane Toss to knock the Everlasting King down to 10 HP. But it doesn't decrease after being hit further, and then he recovers 44 HP immediately after. Can we really do this? I mean, he recovers 3 HP a turn and his attacks aren't too threatening, but how do we win? He summons the ancient tablet we gathered from the Golden Hills to create a bubble shield, as if he wasn't invincible enough, and Team Snakemouth has to work together to destroy it. This time Nibbles drops him down to 10, but again he recovers, and this time summons both halves of the ancient key, combining them to unleash a ridiculous lightsaber attack that would have cleaved Leaf in two even if I had blocked it perfectly, before the 2 key halves separate and fire at V for a further 2 damage each. Kabu gets Leaf back up, and V destroys both halves of the key, before a vine pops out of the ground and takes her out. Kabu gets her back up, but we're running out of resources here. V keeps attacking, we try and stay fully healed, and then with one final Hurricane Toss, it's over. Turns out he can only heal twice. That's all the magic the sapling had left. Well, that never really got hard, did it? We did it. The Everlasting King turns into a tree, Chapter 7 comes to an end, and everyone celebrates in the Ant Kingdom. I get my achievement for beating the Wasp King on hard mode and... Wait. What? No! I was so proud of myself! When did I take up... Patton! My god, I haven't had hard mode on for the entirety of Chapter 7, all because I wanted to move that heartberry? The challenge may be won, but my pride is wounded. Let's rewind time and do this properly, because I can! I guess in some ways this guy really is everlasting. 105 HP, but still 0 defense. However, he has some really nasty attacks he didn't use last time, like this Fireball Volley. 3 damage, hits 1 to 3 times, and inflicts burn if not blocked, which deals 2 damage every turn. Other fire attacks include the classic Column, which deals 5 damage and will burn the whole party, and a batted Fireball that deals 6 damage to one party member. His axe throw also now deals 7 damage, which would be enough to just kill Leaf or V flat out without the heart berries they have. We game over once, then V gets smacked with all 3 fireballs, giving us a second one. But on attempt 3, Nibbles manages to get the win, and we only needed to use one item, a glazed honey I found, somewhere. It won't get better than this, so let's fight the Everlasting King on hard mode. 65 HP, 1 defense. And okay, yeah sure, that's 11 damage on Leaf right away, yep, a fantastic start. He still also has his Fire Column attack, and after dropping to 10 HP, he recovers 53. But Leaf actually revives himself with 1 HP because he has a line in the middle of the fight, which is wonderful for me. V is knocked out immediately by the stupid triple Vines attack, so I have to use my Miracle Shake, and soon enough we get him back down to 10 where he recovers a further 43. 161 HP in total for this fight, but we're almost done. Oh, we are done, but not in the way I wanted. Attempt 2 goes much the same way. Attempt 3 gets much closer, but V is down, the Everlasting King is flying, and we have no TP or items. He may only have 7 HP, but that's another win for the Everlasting King. But we're Everlasting too. We can just keep trying, tenaciously throwing our faces at the wall, refusing to ever give in. And eventually, after so many attempts, with no items remaining, low HP all around, and only 3 TP, Kabu taunts. This is our only chance, and in his hubris and blind rage, the Everlasting King falls for it. Annihilating Kabu, yes, but allowing V to do 5 damage, then 4, and then for Nibbles to finish things off. Kabu managed to save his friends from befalling the same fate as his old ones, and this victory goes to him. And so it is that for the final time, we claim our massive bounty of exploration points.